and welcome back to the Leadership Spheres Meet the Team series. My name is Sarah Hay and I'm the marketing coordinator here at TLS. Throughout this series, I'm speaking with different members of our community to get to know them a little bit better and find out why they are so passionate about the work that we do. This time, I am joined by one of our incredible consultants, facilitators, and coaches, Pete Jensen. Pete, welcome.
Absolute pleasure.
Pete, can you tell me a little bit about how your journey with TLS began?
Yeah, sure. It's over 15 years now, but I met Phil during the delivery of a program called Breakout with ANZ Bank, and just was really impressed with not just Phil, but also what was different about that. So I've been connected with Phil and TLS for about 15 years now, and I've done some work with him.
And what is it that excites you about partnering with TLS?
For me, I think, thinking about the work that we do, and I met Phil during a massive global transformation project, and just seeing the shift in an organization and the impact it had on people and on their lives, they kind of lit up a fire in me as well. So wanting to reproduce those outcomes for other clients, I think is the important thing. And what makes it different working with TLS is just providing leaders with the understanding, but then also the skills, the confidence, the motivation to know that they can impact the lives of their people in a positive way. And it goes beyond just their people, because people go home to families and families live in communities. And so as an organization, there's such an opportunity for leaders, and that gets me fired up as well. So I'm really passionate and excited about that.
Amazing. Yeah, everything that we do, it doesn't just affect the work that we do, it affects everything in all parts of our lives.
Yeah, absolutely.
So Pete, what or who do you believe has been the biggest impact on your career?
It would have to be, and it may sound like I keep going back to 15 years ago, but John McFarlane, as a leader who was very courageous, but he also showed great vulnerability and great empathy. And if it hadn't been for that work, then I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing now. So I just, he was probably the greatest impact on my leadership career, but also on the journey that I've chosen to equip other leaders to do the same. So I'd have to say, without a doubt, John McFarlane.
What is it about his work that's impacted you the most?
I think John had an ability to see beyond the organization and the challenges they were under, because ANZ at the time was in really big trouble. And he just thought, you know what, if we can make this a place where people can show up for work and be their complete selves and not be afraid of each other, and find out what's important to them and align the organization to what's important to the people, then they can live their values at work, and that'll filter on and they'll earn the trust of the community, and they'll inspire and lead each other, which became the new values. And so it wasn't just lip service from the CEO. He walked the talk. And I think in the world that we live in today, that's what people are looking for. Leaders who are vulnerable, who care, who have empathy. And that doesn't make John soft. John made some really hard decisions, but at all times you felt like you belonged, and it was important, and your opinion was important. And I could talk to you for hours about the experiences we had delivering that program that were transformational for people. Some left the bank, and you know what, that was the best decision for them. But it was about, I think, making work more than just an 8 to 5. It was actually a place where people wanted to be under John's tenure.
And how is it that you've seen workplaces evolve throughout your career, and how do you see continued changes impacting workplaces in the future?
We're in constant evolution, and that's not necessarily a bad thing. And when I look back over the last 10 years, for example, 3 particular things come to mind. One is there's been this constant drive to become more lean in the work that we work with, whether it's Lean Six Sigma or whatever you're doing, it's we're trying to become lean as workplaces. The second thing, which has impacted, multiple generations, has been the digital transformation that's happening at work. And the third, but probably the most significant thing from my view of the world, has been, post-COVID and the big shift towards work from home. And I think each of those 3 transitions has benefits without a doubt, but I'm also very, very aware of the downsides of that. So I do a lot of work in mental health and well-being. So the loss of social connection impacts social well-being, and there's a lot less collaboration, idea sharing. I find that people are more fatigued and working longer hours because they've got to wait 6 hours to get a meeting with someone versus tapping them on the shoulder in the office. And with the other two factors of transformation and becoming more lean, in some workplaces, there's a loss of autonomy and a loss of a sense of purpose. So, my observations are that a lot more people are more fatigued and on edge. And this presents a great opportunity for leaders, a huge opportunity for leaders. The challenge is that we've got fewer moments to live those opportunities. So it's really important that leaders are ready for those moments. And these are the skills that we talk about at TLS. It's about courage, it's about vulnerability, it's about empathy, because our little opportunities are getting smaller to impact. And so that's where the passion comes from my side, because if we can equip leaders to be highly effective in those moments, maybe they're the only moments that we have. So I think in the fast-moving world, we've got to move with that as well. And we've got to make sure our leaders lead and move with that too. So those are mine.
Thank you, Pete. Those are some wonderful insights. And yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's really important to build on those interpersonal skills as well when it comes to leadership. So to finish us off, I do want to throw a few more personal questions at you, just to get to know you it's a little bit better. So first of all, Pete, can you please tell me what your favorite childhood TV show was?
Oh, I knew this was coming because now you're going to age me. I grew up in South Africa. We only got TV in 76, and my parents were missionaries. So there were 5 families on a mission station. Only one family had a TV. And every Friday night, 7 or 5 families would meet in one home to watch Bonanza. So if the Cartwrights mean nothing to you, then there's a generational gap here. But Bonanza, the old Western, it's a childhood memory.
Right. Yeah, I was just about to say, I think I've heard of Bonanza, but I'm not entirely sure what that is. But
Google it.
I will. I know you have a bit of a musical background, Pete. Can you tell me what your go-to karaoke song is?
Don't Stop Thinking About Tomorrow, Fleetwood Mac. That's before I have a few beers.
Yeah. What about after?
After a few beers, it's Rocking All Over the World, Status Quo.
Oh, those are both such good songs. If your life was a movie, what genre would it be?
Oh, I have that as an intro exercise when I run workshops. So,
really?
And the participants always go, and who gets to play you in your life? So that's an easy one for me. I actually get greedy. I've got 2. So it'd be John Candy, because I just enjoy his sense of humor and he's larger than life. And the other one would be Harrison Ford, because I love adventure.
Well, that's really cool. A little bit of action comedy kind of thing. I love that. Thank you so much for joining me today, Pete. But before I let you go, I do have one final question for you. And that is, what do you think the most exciting thing is about the future of work?
Ooh. I think the most exciting thing is just a shift beyond workplaces. I think you look at society and how power is going back to the people. So, Uber is the largest taxi company in the world that doesn't own a car. Airbnb is the largest hotel booking, but they don't own anything. And it's all of a sudden there's been a reversal of fortune. And I would like to see a future world where the organization is made up of the values and beliefs and passion and interests of the people who work there, as opposed to what Beck mentioned earlier. It was all top down and we had minions at the bottom. Richard Branson has a wonderful quote where someone says, what if we invest in training and our people leave? And someone says, what if you invest in training and they stay? If you don't invest in training and they stay? And I think that's kind of a joint relationship where instead of being one versus the other, everyone works together, but it becomes, people have the autonomy, within organizations. So that to me would be an exciting future world.
Very well put, Pete, and a great note to end on. Thank you so much for your time today and for joining me. And for those watching, I hope that you have enjoyed this conversation with myself and with Pete Jensen.
No worries. Nice to spend time with you and hang out.